The day has finally arrived. The Party Poker Mosconi Cup is back, and so is Off the Rail. Yes, hello and welcome to Off the Rail here at Alexandra Palace, where we're just hours away from the start of the 25th annual Party Poker Mosconi Cup. Ted, Lerner and Karl boys are with me, as they will be all week, and Ted, this is the moment we wait all year for.
Yeah, Karl boys with Off the Rail. We've been waiting all year for this, man. Welcome, buddy.
I feel like I'm in royalty here right now.
No, besides, you know, obviously Karl boys being here with us is on the top of the list. But, I mean, right in this arena right here, right now, it is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. It is 2,500 people capacity. This thing goes all the way around. It's going to be a madhouse, you know. And, I mean, of course, everybody's expecting Europe to just come out and win again, you know, because, you know, they always say Europe goes 4 deep. You can pick 16, 20 guys, go way down the list, and you still have a team that would probably be favored. But I've got a sneaking suspicion this year, and we can talk about a little bit about this later, but that America is really coming along. There's some good vibes coming out of that practice room, and they look comfortable. So this is going to be really exciting. I'm excited to see how these guys can handle the pressure over here in London of this 2,500 absolute pool lunatics.
Ted, we know you're excited, and we'll get on to Team USA in a moment, but Karl, Europe, they've won 8 on the bounce now. They're going for the 9th. It's unprecedented. They've got, on paper, the strongest team in terms of tournament play and tournament records. Home crowd on their side as well. A lot of pressure on these guys, but the sort of pressure this European team stands up to every single year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're under pressure, but I think because they've won so many on the bounce, even though you get new faces, I just think it's like become a bit of a ritual, like tradition. They just feel so at ease because they're on this run. But it's nerve-wracking out there at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who you are, what's gone on in the past, it's a new day. And I just have a sneaky feeling, like Ted says about USA, they just seem a different animal this year. So we'll see.
Go on then, Ted, make your case for Team USA.
Well, I think you know, anybody who's been around pool for a while, you know, you can't go wrong by saying it all comes down to the philosophy and the training of Johan Reiching. He's not out there playing, and I know, you know, I might get some flack for that. Going, what's he got to do with it? You know, he's not even going to hit one ball this week. But this has been a, you know, it's like he's planted a garden. And last year, yeah, it was a flop. But this philosophy of his is something that the Americans never had. I mean, Karl knows about this. You know, in Europe, it's about, they have the process. They do the drills. They treat it like a professional sport. And this was not something that was really done in America. But, I mean, Johan, a lot of people don't know this, but he gave up his training of Russian players and other players. And, I mean, even to the detriment of his own wallet. You know, I mean, he has given that up for 6 months. Just to focus on Team USA. And he took these guys through many countries, and they did the thing in Russia, and then they had a nice thing in Russia there where they came back and won, and then they went to the Euro Tour. You know, Shane won the Euro Tour, and the other guys performed very well, and they took down some big names. And then you have like Tyler Steyer, okay, in the International in Virginia a few weeks back. He beat Niels Fine in a big match. I mean, that was a hardcore match, and he took him down. So when people say, oh, Tyler Steyer, who is he? He's never played in any big tournaments. Let me tell you what Johan says about him. He says he's the most technically sound American player there is today, even more than Shane Van Boening. Now, he doesn't have the pedigree of Shane Van Boening, but he's really high on Tyler Steyer. So these guys are battle-hardened, and they're low-key this year. They're not you know, in the midst of all this hoopla like in Vegas, where they got dragged off to the bar and the family members are there. You know, I mean, here they got their own apartment, and it's real low-key, and they're real relaxed, and I just think they're going to be very competitive.
Well, Tyler Steyer, as you say, beat Niels Fine at the International Open, and he'll play him tonight on the opening night at Party Poker Mosconi Cup 25. We know that because last night, the traditional opening ceremony for the Mosconi Cup, the official cocktail party, took place, and our roving reporter Jay Casby was there.
Hi guys, as you can see, we're here at the Alexandra Palace for the Party Poker Mosconi Cup cocktail party. Over behind me is where everyone's in there. We're about to find out who's going to be picked for day one, so let's go in and see what's going on. So over my shoulder you can see the trophy. I can't get to it quite now because everyone wants to get their hands on it. USA are with it right now, but will they be lifting it come Friday? Who knows? So I've finally been able to make it to the trophy. It's quite big as you can see. I'll give it a little lift. Who's going to be lifting this come Friday? USA or Europe? What do you reckon?
Man behind it all, the chairman of Matchroom Sport, Mr. Barry Hearn.
Because they're here to experience world-class pool.
It's going to be an extravaganza like no other. Don't miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
So you might wonder why we do a cocktail party at the Mosconi Cup. Well, it's become tradition in recent years. We have the captains here, their families and friends, everyone involved behind the scenes, and this is where we find out who plays on day one. And that's a wrap here from the Party Poker Mosconi Cup cocktail party. We hope you've enjoyed our little behind the scenes tour. Make sure you join us for all the action tomorrow.
Plenty more from Jay Casby throughout the course of the week, but with Karl now, just having a little look in depth at Team USA, and we'll start with Tyler Stye, because you've had a little look at him. You played against him last week at the practice match for Team England, and you've been impressed.
Very impressed. What I like about Tyler is the fact that in some ways he seems very European. And what I mean by that is it's his technique. And I've been told that his biggest pool idol is Niels Feijen, the guy he's going to play in the singles. And he just, fundamentally, he seems very solid on the cue. And what's good about that is under pressure in front of 2,500 people, nothing can go wrong. And obviously it's about potting the balls. You see a little shot here, it's a long shot, you have to be very still. He's going to draw the cue ball back. And as you see, he's walking around the table. And that's what I mean, very Niels Feijen-like. And obviously, if he's his pool idol, he's obviously grown up and followed his like little ways. So I think he's a great pick, and I think he'll do well, mate.
And he beat Niels at the International Open, like we've said. It's an interesting because not a lot of people perhaps knew that much about Tyler. His tournament record is almost non-existent in a way, but Johan's found him. He's been working closely with Johan. He's got that sort of European style you mentioned, almost a bit of a snooker style.
Yeah, almost a bit snooker, very solid. And I think Team Europe over the years, the thing what's probably separated us to the Americans is our fundamentals, and that's what it's all about. When you're under pressure, you have to believe in your fundamentals. That's like rule number one. And I have a good feeling about this kid, you know what I mean? I don't know much about him, but I played in the practice match last week against him. I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube of him, and I think he'll do well. I really do.
One thing USA will have to do this year, if they are to win the Mosconi Cup, is cut out the mistakes they've been making. Johan spoke about it in interviews in the build-up, the simple mistakes. There's one here just from Corey Jewell when he was playing against yourself and Darren Appleton a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4-3 as you see, it's 1-0. I mean, this is like 100 out of 100. And this is purely just down to fundamentals. You should never really miss that ball. I know you can miss the ball, but if Corey Jewell can just take them little misses out, it's obviously going to put him in good stead, feel more confident, and obviously get more points on the board, and that's what USA obviously need.
As a coach, what will Johan be doing to help them not make those sort of mistakes?
I think it's just a case of work on your own game. Corey will pot that ball 100 out of 100. So whatever he's doing in practice, with his fundamentals, just make sure you do it. And when you've got the screaming lunatic European fans who are all drunk shouting on your back, you have to just stay in your own mind, in your own zone. And Johan will have told him that because I've worked under Johan and I know what he's about. And just stay with it, forget about everything else, and just try and make sure you pot that easy ball.
And the other thing is taking the chances that present themselves. This is the very first match from here at Alexandra Palace 2 years ago. It's the first rack, in fact. Niels Feijen gives away ball in hand to Skylar Woodward, who you'd expect to clear, but this is Niels giving away the ball in hand.
Very nervous shot. The ball's very close, but it's very easy to do that. I mean, that's made him look a bit of a fool, but it's very easy to do that. And when you play the game, you know that. And as you see, Skylar's got a very easy run out, but he pots this ball, pots that ball, very easy shot to come up, but he over-hits it, and they end up losing this rack, and they lose the team point. And I think little things like that is what's costing USA. They just need to cut these little silly errors out, and they need to get the pressure back onto Europe. If they can do that, then the Europeans have to handle the pressure, and it's something we've not really seen a lot of.
It is a huge first session tonight for both Team Europe and Team USA, but there's a sense that USA maybe are a little bit of a different beast this year.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly noticed it from when we played USA in the practice match with Skylar Woodward. The last 2 years, I think, from his own standards, he will know he's had poor Mosconi Cups. He's a lot better than what he's played. And I know he's been at Johan's house for a week leading up to this tournament, and I can just tell, having spoken to him, being around him, he's here to play. I can just tell. And that's what you need. You need to take the shine off Shane Van Bonen because he's had a bit of a nightmare. But Shane, for me, is the best 9-ball player in the modern era. And I know he's not won many cups and he's had a bit of a nightmare, but I think it's time for one of the Team USA players to step up and say, I'm here to play. And hopefully Skylar Woodward's that man.
Well, mentally they do seem right. They do seem like a different Team USA here in London, and we spoke to them earlier today.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite events, if not my favorite event to play in. I'm excited.
For me, you know, I've always wanted to play the Mosconi Cup, so if I win, man, be the best thing.
I'm feeling really good. The team's playing well.
I think we're all at the top of our game and we're going to get things done. You know, it's just good to be back this year. I missed it a couple of years, so it's great to be back.
I am looking forward to my 12th appearance to the Mosconi Cup.
It means a lot, shoot, especially if we win, it means everything.
We just preparing with Johan, doing drills, just preparing mentally, and we're all doing well.
All the guys look like they're really good form, and so just got to bring it out there and play well, and I think we can do good. Oh, we're all supporting each other and all standing behind each other and just, you know, trying to keep each other positive and play our best game.
We're just going out there trying to play our best, you know, that's all we can do.
I'm working harder to get better and working on my game to get better onto the next level, so, you know, keep Team USA in the game.
We've done a lot of things together this year, so we're like more of like a team, more of like one instead of individuals. We're all one.
You know, hopefully those things will work in our favor and we can pull it home.
Coping with pressure better. You know, I don't think any pressure gets bigger than this.
I don't feel any pressure, you know. It's been a long 12 years for me, you know, and I'm hoping to win more.
Skylar, Shane, they're playing, I think, the best pool I've ever played myself, but I think we're all at the top of our game and all going to do really well.
I feel really good about this year for sure.
I'm ready for it.
It is definitely in our grasp to win this, you know.
I think we got this year.
Gonna have to throw down with a big old party afterwards, I guess.
So Team USA there, but what about Team Europe? They've got 2 rookies on the side this year, and interestingly, Karl, they'll both play their first matches together. It's a doubles match with Alex Kazakis and Clenty Catchy. That's bold from the captain.
It's bold, yeah, and at first when I had the news, I thought, oh, but then having looked at it properly, the team sheet, they've gone out so strong, and it makes sense. They're obviously very friendly with each other, so I think Marcus is thinking if it's 2-1, 3-0, it's a good time to put them out there and experience it. So I think it's a clever move from Marcus.
And elsewhere in the team, a lot of experience, Ted. First of all, Neil's fine playing his 12th Mosconi Cup, but also they've only played 2 each, but Jason Shaw and Albin Alsham, they know that arena, they know how to make winning balls here. Albin's been an MVP. They've got a great team, Europe.
It's funny, you know, Jason's got the real outgoing personality, so we know how good he can be. And when he's hot, I mean, he loves this kind of atmosphere. It's tailor-made for him. Albin, we tend to like ignore him sometimes because he's so low-key. I mean, even when he plays, you don't even notice him sometimes. He's just in his own mind and he just goes around and he doesn't talk a lot. But wow, I mean, what a player. You are never going to find him rattled at all. So, yeah, they got a serious lineup, Team Europe.
Yeah, they're like 2 total opposite ends of the character, like Ted says. You've got Jason, who's so outgoing and in-your-face type character and just wants to like shoot the balls off the table, and then you've got Albin, who's so like quiet and reserved, but obviously just as good. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you've been in teams with players like that. That works, doesn't it? That's perfect for the balance of the side.
Yeah, you definitely need that type of balance. Obviously, when I was in the team, we always had Darren. He was like the rock, and obviously this year Niels is going to be the rock. And as we've seen, he's going out first singles again to set the tone. You know.
What about, it's curious though, what about your first time when you played in the Mosconi? Did you get sent out early, or and how did you handle when you did get sent out? How long did it take you to get comfortable?
I was quite fortunate because Johan was the captain and he sort of put me at ease in like the way he does it. But because I've grown up with Darren, you know, obviously coming from English 8-ball, I grew up watching him and we were very friendly, and because he was in the team I felt at ease. But I think with Europe, what was so good is the fact that even when you go out to play, you know, like Mika's there or Ralph's there or Niels is there, you're thinking world champion, world champion. Yeah. So you're thinking even if I have a mare and lose, you know you've got a monster coming out right after you. So that's probably why Mark has just put the two rookies out together, because at least they're going to feel comfortable together. So. And
this is I think where Team USA is, you know, you certainly aren't going to say it's 50-50 here. You know, they're definitely the underdogs, because Europe has had this, you know, winning pedigree going back, and they can rely on these great champions that they know they can come through. But America, you get the sense that it can fall apart really quickly if, you know, it can go south quickly.
So come on then, what about a score prediction for tonight? How's it going to end after 5 matches?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 3-2 to the USA.
Wow.
Karl?
I think if Europe win the team match, it's going to be 4-1 to Europe. I think if USA win the team match, it's going to be 3-2 either way.
Well, I'm going to go with you, Ted. I think USA are taking their first session at the Mosconi Cup since 2012. It's been a long wait, but I think it's going to end tonight. And you can see if it does. We're live on Sky Sports main event from 6:30 p.m. this evening. That's 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the US if you're watching on Facebook Live. Head to mosconicup.com to see all of our international broadcasters, over 130 countries around the world, showing it live on TV. If your country isn't, you'll be able to watch it live on Facebook. That's all from us on Off the Rail for today. We'll be back tomorrow reflecting on that opening night's action. We can't wait, so we're going to get ready for the first night of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup. Thanks for joining us.